Hey guys, how's it going? TRX Traveler Adam here. Today I'm going to take you through workout 1A, block 1 of the push legs pull program, which is the Physique building TRX program. The link to it is down below if you're not already following it or you'd like to check it out. And yes, this is workout 1A, so let's get to it. So the first one is the TRX T's, and it's the hammer grip. So hammer grip just means that you hold your hand like this, as if you were striking a hammer. Get your TRX. Now, what you want to think is intention. What's my intention here? Hammer grip, we are wanting to target the middle head of the shoulder muscle here, and also a little bit of the rear head of the deltoid, rear head of the shoulder muscle. So that's my intention, that's what I want to target. Now, to really target that, what I need to do is, rather than retract my shoulders as I'm performing these, I need to protract them. So if I protract my shoulders when I do this, it means all the emphasis and all the stress is being put on the shoulder muscle, both the middle and rear one. If I contract back and do this, I'm then incorporating my back muscles, so I can really squeeze my back muscles as I'm doing this. That's not what you want. That's absolutely fine in some instances. You can do the Y's and you can do the T's, and you can contract your back if you really want to bring your back into play. But that's not what we want to do this time. We really want to focus on just isolating our middle and rear deltoid in this. Now, if you refer to the start of the plan, it tells you our tempo. So our tempo is 2 seconds down, 1 second up, and a hard 1 second contraction at the top. Always remember that throughout all the exercises. So, TRX T. Slight bend in the elbows. As I say, I'm not retracting, I'm protracting. So I'm pulling forward. Slight bend in the elbows, get to a comfortable position. I like to kind of start like this, just so I know where I'm at. And then I can judge by my balance of how I want to stand. And it's 1, 2, down, push out, squeeze, and 1, 2, down, push out, and squeeze, and 1, 2, down, push out, and squeeze, 1, 2, down, push out, and squeeze. Now, I can already feel it right in my middle shoulders there, just after a few. Now, what I'm doing here is, you notice my range of motion short. If I start going right in, I lose tension on the muscle because I'm just hanging and it's all on the joint. That's not what we want. So I want you to try and keep your hands not all a little bit outside, so they don't come all the way in. As soon as you go all the way in, you're just hanging and it's relaxed. If I keep my hands here and then I go back out, contract, and I come down for 1, 2, there. I'm stopping there and I'm contracting. And same here, I'm not going all the way up because I'm bringing my back into play here. I'm keeping just here. So my shoulder muscles are really, really straining here, my middle shoulder muscle, to pull the TRX apart. And what I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to reach for the sides of the walls as I'm doing this. I'm trying to really reach out, reach out, reach out. And if you really think about that and reach out and keep your elbows bent, you will get such an insane pump on the middle shoulders there. So that's TRX T's, and I believe on these we have the drop set, the neurological stimulus drop set. So because this is your first one, you're going to do, it is 3 sets. So you're going to do the 3 sets normal. So do your 3 sets, and then on the final 3rd set, as you're finishing, so you finish your 3rd set, you go straight into the drop set. Now what I'd recommend you do is, however you finish that 3rd set, I would just stop for a second, take a little bit of a step back, just to make it a little bit easier, and then carry on. So it's 1, 2, 1, and squeeze, and 1, 2, and 1, and squeeze, and 1, 2, and 1, and squeeze, and 1, 2, and 1, and squeeze. Get to the rep range, take a quick breath if you need it. Same again. 1, 2, and squeeze. 1, 2, and squeeze. Until you do the final 3rd set. And that's your drop set, and you'll just keep going. Now remember, on the drop set, keep the same form, keep the same action, just slightly reduce the intensity. But the idea of the drop set is to completely wear out your shoulders. I will do a drop set so you can see what it looks like. I'll do it on the next one, which is the TRX Hammer extension. But yes, with the drop sets, I really want you to give it your absolute all on these drop sets throughout the whole program. These drop sets feature quite a lot, so really pay attention when you see it and really go for it. Absolutely give it your all. Your sets that lead up to this drop set, think of them as like building up to this drop set, and you're preparing your body, you're stimulating it, you're getting all the blood pushed in there, you're really wearing it down, and then when this drop set hits, you give it your absolute all. You really go for it, but keep form, keep perfect technique, keep thinking of the intention. What's my intention? It's to reach for the walls, and it's to keep a slight bend in my arms, and it's to really keep tension on that middle deltoid muscle. Sometimes I like to close my eyes when I do TRX exercises because I get in this meditative state, and it really helps. So, great, first exercise done. Next one, it's the Skull Crusher and the TRX Triceps Extension. And it's a superset, so you're doing them back to back. So, Skull Crusher first, then the extension. The only difference is between the Skull Crusher and the extension. The Skull Crusher is this grip, extension is this grip. So Skull Crusher is normal grip, the extension is a hammer grip again. Again, get yourself set up for this. What I pay particular attention to when you're doing the Skull Crushers is as you go down, so it's 1, 2, I really want you to stretch right behind. Now I might need to adjust my feet position a little bit. I think if I come in a bit I can get a better stretch. Don't just go to here, yeah? I really want you to get a good stretch like that. And then it's up and squeeze. And 1, 2, and get a good stretch and squeeze it up. And I'm squeezing as hard as I can at the top there. And 1, 2, get a good stretch and squeeze it up. 1, 2, and down. 1, 2, and squeeze as hard as you can, and down for 1, 2, and back up. Squeeze, and 1, 2, stretch and squeeze. So as I'm doing that, as I'm at the top there, I like to push the handles together because it just allows me, it stops me kind of my arms floating around. So if I can keep a bit of focus on pushing the handles together as I go right down and push up, I can get such a good contraction by pushing them together. It really helps. So you're pushing together and down, and you're really squeezing the biceps as hard as you can. Once you've done your rep range, you would then go straight into the extensions, and as I say, the extensions, you're just changing your grip up. So then we'd go straight into these extensions, and I love these because you can really get a solid stretch right behind and up, and squeeze. 1, 2, and down. I change my feet position because it's not quite right, and up, back a bit. There we go, that's the one. 1, 2, stretch behind and back up, and push and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, and explode up, and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, and squeeze. You can hear me trying then. I'm already feeling out of breath. So again, it's really getting right back. So you're really extending right back, and you're really stretching the long head of the tricep there as you squeeze the push back up. Really focus on that stretch. Honestly, if you can really stretch it out at the bottom, squeeze back up, and really keep the intent on squeezing your tricep to push back up, they will grow and you will really feel it tomorrow. Stretch them in that lengthened position as much as you can. Contract them in the shortened position as hard as you can. Think of it as like violent contractions. You know, it's not just pushing to move up, but it's contracting, and you'll know when you're contracting rather than just moving because it's slower. So if I just contract, the fastest I can go is probably 1 second. It's like one elephant. Whereas if I just throw myself and just power, it's just like that, but I'm just moving. I'm using other muscles. I'm using force, velocity. We don't want to do that. We really want to isolate the tricep. So really think about, right, I'm not just going to move. I'm going to squeeze the tricep to cause the movement. So as I squeeze it, it causes the movement. Alright, and I think on that one, the drop set is straight after those tricep extensions. I'm running out of breath, so I'm going to do a drop set, but I'll save it for the next one, because I'm knackered. Same thing, as soon as you finish those extensions, as soon as you're on the second superset, you finish those extensions, You get to your rep range, what's in the program, take a breather. Remember, you can do 5 seconds if you want, but only 5 seconds, and then straight back into it. So straight for your first set on drop set, breathe if you need, straight to your second, breathe if you need, then reduce the intensity a little bit if you need to because you're knackered, and finally on the third one, really give it your all and really go for it, really squeeze and push out. So push those drop sets hard, okay? Really go for it. Okay, the TRX one arm side raise, I love this one. The burn is awesome for the middle deltoid. Just pull one of the handles really tight, as far as it will go, and just pull the hoop through like that, just so you've got a little bit of, there's not too much give so you don't fall. All we're doing with these is, the intention is to isolate the middle shoulder, and that's it. So, a slight bend. I always find that it's helpful to put your hand on your hip. Slight bend in the arm, and what I want you to do is just reach up, but try and reach a little bit back. So you try and sort of pull a little bit behind your head, not too much, just a little bit. So it looks something like this. So I get my position. I like to kind of start high up here so I can figure out where my feet are going to go. And that feels pretty good right there. And then I go down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, 1, 2, up, squeeze, 1, 2, up, squeeze, and I can really feel it burning now. And you can see my range of motion is really short there. I'm not allowing myself to hang too much or go down too far. Excuse me, shreddies, or hang too far, or come back up too far, because we lose the tension. We don't want to lose the tension on the muscle. We want to keep it in that short range to keep the tension, yeah? And keep that focus on 1, 2, down, up for 1, squeeze for 1, 1, 2, down. This is all building us up for the second block, where it's a much harder intensity, and it's 4 seconds down, 1 second up, no break, 4 seconds down, 1 second up, no break. It gets really intense in the second block, so keeping this tempo going, really thinking about that 2 second negative phase, 1 second up, squeeze as hard as you can. I really want you to keep that in mind, yeah, because it's going to really help us and set us up for the block 2 once you complete this in maybe 7 to 8 weeks time. So that's it, and then all you would do with these, you would just move on to the next arm, exactly the same principle, slight bend in the arm, find your feet position, start up here and down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, 1, 2, up, squeeze, 1, 2, up, squeeze, 1, 2, up, squeeze. Find a rhythm that works for you. I like to do that. I like to go sort of walk down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, because that up and squeeze are kind of my 1 seconds at either end. So find a rhythm that works for you. If it's better to do 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, just find your rhythm, get in that meditative state. Now a thing to bear in mind, always look at the time. So you've got 40 seconds rest periods between this. And one vital thing I've missed, sorry about this, when you finish every single exercise, so when I was showing you the TRX Ts there, at the end of the whole exercise, once you've done the 3 sets, we should have stretched. So we should have stretched that muscle, which is the middle head of the deltoid. We should have stretched it for 15 seconds that way and 15 seconds that way. Then we should have moved on to the next exercise. So don't forget to stretch. Sorry about that. Missed it. Trying to speak too much. In block 2, we stretch after every single set. So after doing that one arm, I would then immediately stretch for 15 seconds, go on the other arm, immediately stretch for 15 seconds. However, we're building up to block 2. So in block 1, we stretch at the end of their whole exercise. So these are TRX Ts again, and again these are middle head. So again, we would do an action like this to really stretch it out at the end for 15 seconds that side. And I like to count by elephant, so it's 1 elephant, 2 elephant, 3 elephant, 15 seconds that side. Awesome. All right. Next exercise. We are going for TRX Flys. TRX Flys are great. I love them because you can get such a good stretch, but it's important to do them right to get the stretch. So, I want you to find a TRX position. Just make sure that's in the middle. There we go. Once you find a TRX position of the handles that allows you to, and obviously you can take your time with this. I'm rushing these a little bit because I don't want to spend hours and hours talking to you. I want you to understand the principles, the intention, and then be able to crack on yourself. I want you just to get it just enough so you can kind of stretch out nice like that. So that's pretty good. That feels pretty good for me. And now with TRX Flys, the intention here is not to allow, again as always, not to allow the tension to fall off the chest muscle, which is actually really easy to do on flies, especially because you see people kind of like keep their hands like this and they bring them together. As soon as you start doing that, the transfer of tension is lost from the chest and it comes more down the arm and the joint muscle. What we want to do is we want at the bottom to get a nice stretch, so a nice stretch with our arms bent. Then as we come in, I want you to focus on straightening your arms and pushing your elbows together. Now you can see here, if I do that, you can see my chest muscle here. Like if I just do that, you can see it popping up and I can feel it popping. Whereas if I do this, it's flat. Look, I can even press it down. Whereas if I straighten my elbow and I push in, that's solid now because it's tension, there's tension there. So when you're doing the flies, get a nice stretch, and the stretch is through retraction of the shoulder blades. So you're not like this. We're retracting the shoulder blades, opening the chest up. We're getting a good stretch, not too far, so you put an extra strain on the shoulders. Don't go too far. Like to keep the hands in peripheral vision, I believe that's called. Like to keep the hands there. And as I come in, I'm straightening my elbows, and I'm kind of, it's almost like showing off my boobs if I had boobs. I'm showing off my breasts. It's like you're trying to pinch a pen between them. So you're like bringing it together and you squeeze. And the squeeze you can get, whew, the pump and burn is awesome. So, here we go. Flies. So we are going to go down and we're going to stretch it right out. And then as we come up, I'm straightening my arms and I'm squeezing. And I'm going to get more of an angle there, make it a bit more harder. So I'm coming out, I'm stretching my arms, really stretching, and then it's up for one, squeeze, and down for 1, 2, stretch it, and up, and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, and push up, and straighten the arms, and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, and find your intensity here. I think I can go a little bit more on that just to get even more of a squeeze. So now as I really come down and explode up, straighten my arms, squeeze, and I'm back down. 1, 2, stretch, and squeeze, and down for 1, 2. Super good, super good to keep tension. I can really feel my chest is starting to pump just after a few there. And don't worry if it takes you a little bit of time to find your feet. You know, I'm assuming you've got experience with the TRX. It's totally cool. Just find your feet, find what works for you. So stick to the rep range. Within that, stick to the sets, stick to the rest period, and of course, when you finish the final set, stretch because we've got no drop set. So I like to sort of stretch like that, so it'll be 15 seconds, or I'd stretch like this for 15 seconds on either side. Whatever works for you, mix it up week to week. Just make sure you get that stretch in, because the stretch leads to additional stress on the muscle. It leads to additional blood flow getting pumped there. It leads to more of a pump, more blood, more catabolic breakdown. It's what we want. Okay, and finally the last exercise is the TRX Press Ups. So many people do just a normal press up wrong. I can max get to 8 press ups when I do them properly, and I've been doing press ups for a long time. The key is the intention. When you're doing a press up, you always want to be trying to push your hands together on the floor when you go down and when you come up. That will constantly create tension on your chest. It's just like the flies when we do them. We're wanting to like push in and push in. So if I'm constantly trying to push in, it's my chest that's constantly working. If I'm just pushing up, my front shoulders are coming in, my triceps are coming in. That's not what we want. We want to isolate the chest. We want to isolate the chest. So as I do a normal press up, hands go just outside of shoulder width so you can push in better. And as I push in, so here's my arms relaxed now. if you watch them, relax. And now as I push in, you can see them change. So I push in and they've changed, and I'm shaking now. And as I go down for 1, 2, push up, squeeze, push them together, and down for 1, and I'm pushing them together, push up, still pushing them together, 1, 2. And it's so much more harder, and there's so much more intensity and pump and blood rushing to the chest. Now I often fail at these, so when I'm doing the TRX Press Up, so you've obviously got to put your feet in the straps here. And often, after maybe, even just sometimes the first set, my chest is just knackered, it's done, you know? So what I do is I just go on to knees, and that's totally fine, just follow the same principles. Push your hands together, go down, 1, 2, and up, and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, and up, and squeeze. And that's absolutely fine, just make sure you're following that intention of pushing your hands together to really focus on the chest muscle. So this is what it should look like normally. So feet in the straps about 6 inches off the floor, hands a little bit outside shoulder width, and push your hands together and go down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, down for 1, 2, up, squeeze, 1, 2. And as I say, as you start to fail or you get tired, go onto your knees and up, down, pushing the hands together, and up, pushing the hands together, squeeze them, and that's it. They're a really simple exercise, but you've got to have the intention to do them right to get the burn. That's absolutely exhausted me, and it's the same principle on a bench press in the gym. You can apply that if you love going to the gym, and maybe you're going to go to the gym after this or once you've done this program. If you try that same principle on a barbell, it's something that I learned a long time ago when I used to use the gym. If you push your hands together as you pushing up on the barbell, it's so much harder. This is the same principle as flies. You're pushing your elbows together. Here we're pushing our hands together. The intention is always the same. It's always to keep the contraction on the chest muscles there. So again, at the end of that set, you've got your drop set. Drop set, we're on knees. I'm always on knees by drop set, and I can maybe do 3 or 4 reps. Try and push hard if you can, go for 5, but I appreciate these are very hard, so don't worry if you can. Just really keep your form going, Even on the last set, sometimes on the 3rd final drop set, I'm so knackered, and I've done maybe 1 that I can only just do partials, so I'll push up, 1, 2, push up, 1, 2, push up. And I just do that till absolute failure. Remember guys, drop set, push it hard, yeah? This is where we're really putting the effort in to really exhaust the chest muscles down. I know I said I'd do a drop set. I'm sorry, I'm knackered. I promise in the next one, which is going to be workout 1B, legs, I promise you I will show you a drop set and how much it kills me. So yes, thanks very much for watching. As I say, the link to this program is down below. For everyone who's got it and is working through it, I hope that's helpful. Move on to the next video, which is going to be workout 2A, and that's going to be legs. Full leg day with the TRX. Thanks for watching.